Joy.
Is your ears ringing?
Yes. Let's try that one more time. I'm Joy.
And I'm Tease.
Joy and Tease talk mindset. Yes, we are finding joy in the struggle on today. All right, guys. You see a couple things that are a little different. Struggling with the allergies today. Came in from a walk. Got that little, I call it like that little blur spot. Like it's kind of in your vision. First, I thought it was just from being outside with the light and then coming into and trying to read, maybe straining a little bit. But then I started thinking about the pollen, the headache came, and I was like, yeah, that's what that is. Because it wasn't complete tunnel vision for like a migraine. But I did get the headache, just took some allergy pills and we're good. But we're a little sensitive to light, so I will keep these on. They are my
Cool Dr. Money shades.
Actually, they're just like blockers for like, they're computer glasses. The doctor prescribed them when I told him I had a sensitivity to light.
I like Cool Dr. Money shades.
For some reason that I don't.
This whole time I've been calling them that you don't like that.
I mean, it's Cool Dr. Money shades. It just doesn't fit me.
That's what they look like. Do you know who Cool Dr. Money is?
I do not. Does Cool Dr. Money look like me?
I don't know. I don't know what he looks like.
Oh, hot mess. You know. But that's a great segue into what we're going to talk about today. Hey guys, how well do you know yourself? How often do you allow others to take you outside of yourself or allow situations to take you outside of yourself? Because I really think that it can change your total mindset on how you see things and how you respond. And that's what we want to talk about today. We really want to talk about a response because, guys, Lottie has a major response to when men come on to her.
Yeah, it's noticeable too.
So y'all know that we go in and we break down people's assessments, especially on their outward behaviors that are noticeable, where people can actually visualize them,
Yes.
their behaviors. And so Lottie, what happens? And y'all, her superpower is being a stabilizer. Am I correct? Is that your superpower one, or is your C higher than your?
They're equal.
They're equal. Okay. I knew they were pretty close.
Wait, no. My because my steadiness is 88. My conscientiousness is a 99.
So there we go. So it's her second. But y'all, what we're going to talk about though, but when she says steadiness, that just deals with what pace she prefers things in. Okay. And if her pace, the higher it is, the slower you want your pace to be. Am I correct?
Yes, the higher. It's the only one that's flipped.
Exactly. The lower your steadiness is on your ratings, the faster you like things to be. So hers is pretty high. So she likes to a slow pace, but that's not always allowed when somebody's coming on to you. They're generally waiting on a response. And Lottie, will you share with us some of the responses that you have had when a man comes on to you?
It depends on whether or not I'm attracted to him. That's really the big deal in the response. Because I'm not attracted to him, I'm witty. So I automatically have a comeback. Because I really don't, to a certain extent, now don't get this wrong, I don't want to hurt their feelings. But I really don't care about if what I'm about to say to you hurts your feelings. Because it's like, I ain't trying to be with you no way. But, and if I'm attracted to him, there's a possibility. So you don't want to say something that's going to damage the relationship before it even starts. And I was that girl in school. Like, if you looked at me, well, your name was on my binder. I'm just saying. And it was clean because I was hooking it up.
And y'all, she knows the particular situation that I'm referring to. She gets
Oh, you
tongue.
did
She
that too,
don't
didn't you?
talk.
Yeah, I start saying stupid stuff. I stutter. Ooh, one time I was at the school and I kicked over an entire bucket. Mind you, I use Sherwin-Williams, so it's like $40 at its base. I knocked over the whole gallon. It was all just running. And he ended up having to help me scoop it up. It was just ridiculous.
But I think
Why
it's
are
so
you
neat.
laughing?
I love it. I think it's beautiful because I operate at a fast pace. That is my preference. That is my natural way. And I'm laughing because even at conscientiousness that's there, she has all these questions going through her mind.
Yeah.
I'm laughing because I thought of nothing. But if you said, hey, I'm like, hey, how you doing? Nobody, I don't care about your feelings or anything else. I hadn't even taken the time to consider how many things I should question or look through. So I laugh at our differences. Not that mine's a come on. It's just that in her process of thinking, that's generally what she goes through. So I can see how it would make her stutter. I'm always apologizing because I've already said something before I thought about it. So usually I step on a toe. But now that you know, since we live by our assessments so much, speaking of paint, I think it's ironic. Guys, we're painting again, right? She's painting, redoing a room, and she's going to do the kids' room and make that more interactive and bright for them. And she's moving into a different room and making it bright. So here she is painting again at the painting store, and guess what?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Here he comes. He's coming on. The guy who has a business and knows about paint is talking to her about paint. And
I knew he was gonna say something though.
Did
I
you?
just knew it.
What made you think he was gonna know?
Because he started looking at me, and but God, okay. Some of you know, some of you do not know. I will be 41 Juneteenth. And most of the time, people think I'm in my mid to late 20s.
Yes.
So I always either get guys that are way older than me that want to talk to me. They're like 40 years older than me.
Not 40 years old.
Or they're super young. I'm old enough to be their mama.
Yes.
So
True.
it's kind of like, it's never people my age. So it was just like, oh, he old. So I already know.
He wasn't that old. Come on.
But he has to be, I thought about this, guys.
There go that thinking.
Yeah, later on I thought about it. Because if he's been doing, because his line to me was, I've been in this business for 40 years. I've only been alive for 40 years. So he has at least, because he 16 years old me.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
So I was like, depending on when he started. So I was like, oh yeah. Back in the Gap, it had lie in it. So hopefully he wasn't messing with it back then as a kid. But so yeah, it's just like always in my head, like Latisse run because he old.
So why didn't you run? You generally do, but you didn't run this time. Let's break this down because y'all know I was asking 15 dozen questions about this meetup. They wound up having a whole conversation.
We did. Pretty engaging conversation.
Why? Why did you choose to have a conversation this time where you generally don't?
Because that day I had said I was going to be intentional about going out. Typically when I go out, I'm so task oriented and I've planned out my day. I already know how long it should take me to get from point A to point Z. You see me in Walmart, you don't see me because that's how fast I'm moving. And I have a task, I know, and then it don't help that I worked at Walmart. So typically when I go in there, I know exactly where to go because I know where it is. And I was like, we're not doing that today. Because we talk about evangelism and evangelizing, but do you ever allow the opportunity to for it to take place? So I was very intentional about also making eye contact because I typically don't because I'm shy. Most people think that I'm not shy because I'm always laughing or I'm cracking a joke. The sillier I am, the more defensive I am. So if you feel like, oh, she is just a hoot, people must love her, just know that it's a wall right there at that time. But it took me learning myself to even know that.
I love that.
And so that's what got our conversation started. I made eye contact.
I think that's awesome. And this part, I loved when we talked about it. You was telling me how you wouldn't let him rush you. And
Yes.
I really wanted to talk about it because you've learned some things about yourself. But you played to your strength. Because what did you say? There's things about him that you calculated what you wanted, why you weren't going to let things go any further than what they are. It wasn't just his age, because you say he was a nice looking man. He was an intellectual. She likes intellectuals, right?
Yes. He was, I can't say how much of an intellectual he was, but he was a businessman.
You knew about that part of his business, yes.
Yeah, and as much as he actually stayed professional the entire time. I have to give him that to a certain extent. Now, I believe the big reason that he stayed professional was because my pastor is my pastor, but he's also my father to me.
Correct.
And he treats me like his daughter. I respond to him like he's my dad. I mean, there's only like a 10, 12 year gap, but I'm just saying, he's still like, he
walks in that
like
role for
daddy
you.
To me.
He walks in that role and tells you that he's your protector. Yes.
So it's like, I don't think twice about it when I mention him. So when he was asking me exactly why I was in the store or whatever, because he was finna bam, bring on his paint knowledge. But of course, I've been painting for years, so there are just things that he was saying to me that I already knew. But he didn't know that because I never said it. So when he came up to me and he was like, so what are you painting for? Or do you know how to paint? Or something he asked me. And I was like, oh, I'm getting paint for my mother and father. And when I said father, his whole demeanor changed. And he started telling me about painting and making sure I had the right supplies and why I don't want to use one thing versus another. But what I noticed is that he had left. And I was like, was I supposed to follow him? Because he is telling me about paint. So I did. I followed him so that he could tell me about, because the other thing is that now I'm not so great at what I do that I can't be taught anything.
Come on.
So I was like, oh yeah, please share your 40 years of wisdom with me.
That's right.
So I went in there.
Build a relationship organically.
I was listening, and he started talking about his craft and why you want certain paints and why you don't want other ones and all that other good stuff. And by the time he ended his conversation, the person he had came there to talk to showed up, so I was free to leave without feeling weird. But what I noticed in our conversation is that he was leading me the whole time. Mm-hmm. So automatically in my head, I was like, oh yeah, this dude he's either in high I or a high D, which means that he's on the faster pace of the spectrum. But Latish, you're not. Come on. You don't want to say anything stupid, and you do not want to end up in a relationship or promising something that you are not going to hold up to, because I've been reading about being a servant of Christ, and lying is huge to God. That's one of them things, I believe it's in Proverbs, where he says it's 6 things that God hates and something like that. Anyway, so I was like, all right, I don't need to lie. What am I gonna do? And it just so happens that I started slowing down the conversation, and I remembered that I talk slow, but I'm also witty. So use that to my advantage. I know how to be charming and alluring. That's a part of my assessment. So it was like, use your guard that you have up, but that guard is very polite because it makes people feel comfortable because I'm funny. And so I'd say little things that made him laugh, that allowed me to answer his question without promising something that I couldn't commit to. And he even he was like, here's my card. I want you to call me. What time are you available today? What time? And I was like, wait, hold on. like, you asking me a lot of questions that you want me to answer, but I need to think about it. And so he laughed, of course, and then I gave him my answer. And so at the end of the day, I hadn't promised anything that I could not fulfill.
Hold on, you dropped a nugget.
Oh.
You knowing you will not allow someone else to make you become something else or to become someone else. You said, stop, hold on, wait a minute. And you understood it was okay to do that.
Yes.
I don't have to please you because it's not going to please you in the end because it's not telling you the truth.
Yes.
Why am I going to be something in the beginning that I'm not? Mm-hmm. So yeah. I love that. That's why it is so important that we stop and learn these things about ourselves. And then it's not being rude. It's not being inconsiderate of others for you to then demand that you're not. What do I mean by what's the word? I don't think I said that right. As far as not demand, but that you.
It's okay to take control of the conversation on your terms.
On your terms. That's exactly what I want. I can do it on my terms because you need to know the real me.
Yes.
And that goes vice versa. Just like you wanted to slow the conversation down. I'm very conscious of time. I am high speed. And sometimes I get in conversations where people want to, guys, I will stop people when I know they want something from me, but they will talk 15 minutes about something that has nothing to do with anything. And I know you called me for a reason.
That's me.
And I've learned that it's okay. I will listen. I will be polite and I'll make sure. But then I will cut in and say, you know what? Just because. Sometimes I tell them just because I want to make sure I take care of what you need. Or how can I help you? I will say that, how can I help you?
Yeah. Because it's a way to say stuff.
Yeah. And will somebody take that as being rude? I think it's only, like you said, it's only, at the end of the day, I don't want to make them think I can deliver something that I can't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I'm not listening to you after about 15 minutes.
Yes.
So that's not fair to you. I might as well bring you to where I am and then explain it. I loved your explanation. It was beautiful. I can't answer all of your questions. I need time to think.
Yeah.
You can't say that if you don't know that about yourself.
Yes.
Where I can even tell you, hey, I know my mind. Go ahead and tell me what you want because I'll be trying to fix things and answer it for you and I'm very conscious of time. So.
And then like sometimes people that are faster paced, if you slow down and think about what's being said, sometimes, I'm not saying all the time, they think you're lying to them. And it's like, I want you to know that I'm not lying to you, but I really do. I have so many things in my schedule, that's what I said, that I don't know what my schedule is. However, me hanging out with you today is not going to happen because I've already had to put things off because I have my niece's recital.
I love that. You even knew your planner for the day. Do you know yours? Uh-huh. Do you know you? Have you even tracked or measured anything about your time or goals or expectations? Mm-hmm. Even you were intentional about being there and being present for family.
Yeah.
It was scheduled. So I even know how to adjust my time. There's so many things that I know we won't even be able to cover today. But I thought it was so beautiful. I was like, wow, you're not the same person. You used to just run from any encounter. But this one, I saw that you went into it with strategy, with true desire to build just a pure relationship. So if God does want to use me to evangelize, at least I was present.
Yes. Because I listened to the things that he said and we dialogued about, he even had some differences from what I had. And of course, we only talked like 10 minutes. But even in that time frame, it was just like, oh, there's some things about my life that are so concrete that I can't even not tell you at the beginning of this conversation.
Awesome.
So, yeah, it was pretty neat encounter.
I love it. I just love the growth. I like to see when we take the things that we teach and put them into action, even when it's validated, the tools that we're using and how effective they can be. You experienced a whole mindset shift. People are important. Tasks aren't so important that we negate our encounters with people. They're special moments.
Yes. And you never, like you said, you never know when you'll see that person again.
Never
You don't
know.
know how you may be connected to that person. You don't know how one thing that you say triggers, because that's happened to me. That one thing that was said triggers so many other things in
Yes.
somebody's life. So,
Yeah.
it was really good. I knew I had growth. Now I wasn't sitting there analyzing it like you did, but it was just like, all right, Latisse, this is it. Now you got to put it in practice. And so I didn't notice I was putting it into practice until now, y'all. All this stuff is happening, right? I didn't say a lot, and it's because I'm slower to process information. You can tell me a whole scene and you're talking to me or whatever, and I may not have any input at that very moment, but let me lay down and the next day comes. I got a whole slew of stuff that my mind has processed the entire day based off that one conversation we had. And that's where our values come in. Because then I had to say, this man wasn't bad looking. And is he somebody that I wanted to talk to or not? Because age, it matters, but kind of not really. I'm at the age in my life where I'm just like, what are your goals? What are your values? And if you're living up to those things, then I don't mind. That's not a big deal for me. I'm kind of an older soul. I might look young, but my brain isn't. So, but there were some red flags. Because I know my values.
Come on.
And if I know that the man is intended to lead,
yes,
what direction are you leading me into? And yeah, you may start off doing these things for me, but who's to say that I don't want to be your God. I want you to do it because you want relationship with God, not relationship with me. Because your relationship with God at the end of the day is what's going to be leading me. So
I remember the one who wanted to hook up with you and he found out you was at church. Well, I'll go to church. You didn't want that. What were some of those red flags? Tell the people. What were some of those red flags? And you was like, I know my values and no, this is a red flag.
Swearing is huge for me. I know that there are believers who believe that you can curse, but the Bible says, how can salt water and fresh water go in the same stream? You can't curse man and bless God with the same mouth. So that's a conviction for me personally. I take that scripture at what it says. I take it for what it says. That was one. The other, and then two, like sometimes we're like, oh well, I can't do what you do, but sometimes it don't have anything to do with just them cursing. It's like God had to deliver me from that. So I don't even want that to become so familiar that I take that in and start using it again. So
I think it'd be like a person used to smoke and stopped smoking. Yeah. After that, my mom couldn't stand it and made her sick.
Mm-hmm. And that has a lot to do with that.
So you build a tolerance. You can't to hear it. It makes you cringe.
Yes. Yeah. And you pray for those things when you first become a Christian. So anyway. Yeah. That was one. The other one was the fact that what else was there were other things that were a red. Oh, the fact that he changed his mindset as it related to once I said I had a father. So you would have came at me sly. Had I not mentioned those things.
His approach changed right there in front of you?
Yes.
Gotcha.
So that mattered to me too. But these are just things for me. I ain't saying they for everybody. And then, my family, they attractive. The men in my family are very attractive. So I know the game. Okay. To a certain extent. Okay. So it's just like,
you said you got some game that you're trying to throw this way, and I'm at that age. I'm not even trying to deal with a game.
It's like, look, if this is who I'm supposed to be with, when I don't need no
to decide that.
Thank you. You hook up with Latisse, you ain't know is it gonna work? It's gonna work.
Because what you say is already on your notebook.
Yes, and we just figuring out days. That's it. We working it to the schedule, and that's what's taking time.
What you say, but I love that. So to even avoid a struggle down the road, because I know me, even if I let my guard down, I'll get my heart quickly. There's already flags. Let's not even go down that road and put myself in a bind.
Yes, and I hate severing relationships. I hate it. So I'll even sin to keep the relationship, and I know that's a weakness for me, so I don't let myself go there.
Oh, y'all, we're going to do this again. This is good talk. We was just now digging in. But I know y'all ain't used to us being on here this long, but great information. But I kept hearing the same thing. Now that I know this about myself.
Yeah.
Now that I know this, I can avoid struggles that I've either dealt with in the past, that were even outward behaviors that you've been able to record over time. But as we do here, we measure, we assess, we review, and adjust.
Yes.
We're not the same. We're not who we were yesterday.
Yep.
And that's a beautiful thing. When God gives wisdom, we can walk in that wisdom and be stronger for it. All right. Guys, we do want you to connect with us right there at www.joykmassenberg.com. Go ahead and book your mindset chat today. Let's get your assessment done so we can help you know yourself better.
Not everyone gets to hang out with cool Dr. Money.
I told y'all, I know me enough. I don't want to be cool Dr. Money. Love ya. Bye-bye, guys. Cool Dr. Money.